It's dire. I can't reduce and cut costs any more than I have.
Mike Owerski is in survival mode. He runs his pizza restaurant as best he can these days.
I had 5 employees. They've all been laid off. I do 100% of the work. Accounting, ordering, cooking, answering the phones, and it's still not making a profit. So why keep doing it? I don't understand why I'm breaking my back when I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
That was the mindset Mike was in when he sat down to watch the budget.
I'm not a political guy. I'm just a hardworking, just average Joe. So it was weird for me to really be watching every word when that budget came out. It was kind of like Game 7 of like Maple Leafs versus the Montreal Canadiens in Stanley Cup final, like Game 7 in third period. I was waiting for it. I was watching every moment of it.
What Mike was looking for specifically was a continuation of the emergency rent subsidy, or CERS. That keeps the door open here. And he got it.
I was elated. I almost was screaming because without that, I already was planning on June 5th closing. It was just, I wasn't going to make enough money out of my own pocket to pay rent. The extension of CERS was like the Maple Leafs winning in overtime in Game 7 for me. That allows me the opportunity to maybe weather this storm.
And that's one of the ideas behind the budget, to help people like Mike get their business through the pandemic. But of course, there's a cost. Canada's deficit is projected to be $354 billion, and the debt, $1.4 trillion by 2026.
I understand debt. I have seen every aspect of debt. Debt for successful investments and debt that drove people into despair. I've seen it all.
That's Ron Butler. In his 25 years as a mortgage broker, he's seen the way we think about debt change, big time.
We used to worry a lot about a $38 billion deficit in this country. There was all kinds of discussion about it. So now we're running 10 times that. 10 times. And I don't hear very much concern from anyone about it.
What's changed from sweating about 38 billion to 10 times that?
Certainly COVID happened. That's a big change. There was such a need to get money to people who'd lost their jobs that a big deficit was expected. So we did go into a $345 billion deficit last year. The sky didn't fall in. I mean, nothing went too wrong. So why not just do it again? We'll see how this rides out.
Ron says he sees the same spending behavior that the government's doing with everyday people. He says we've forgotten the risk of taking on too much debt.
That's exactly what happens in the mortgage business. If people refi their homes once, get a somewhat larger payment, maybe about the same payment because rates went down, well, let's do it again. Rates are even lower. Let's refinance again. Let's get a bigger mortgage. Let's renovate the basement. Let's do this. Let's do that. Until the day comes when it doesn't work out anymore. If I had grandchildren, what am I saddling them with?
You can argue about money for the present crisis versus future debt. But for someone like Ezekiel Yui, there's no debate. Every month she risks being evicted.
It's stressful because I've missed a month. I've got the notices at my door. You're late. You can be evicted.
Ezekiel's a mom of 3. Before the pandemic, she was a cleaner. But in the last year, since COVID, she's only been able to work twice. And she says CERB is not enough.
When it comes to paying the rent or buying food, it's a toss-up. I have to be thinking if I'm going to pay the rent or if I'm going to buy food, if I'm going to be able to feed my children or I'm going to be evicted. So it's not a nice feeling when you have to be thinking about one or the other.
Ezekiel tells me that for her, the budget was a disappointment.
I don't think the budget has done enough. The budget has not done enough to cover our needs, and I don't think that they even consulted with us. What do you need? What can we do for you? How does this budget will help you? When you're in low income, you're not able to say, oh, the budget is too much, there's a deficit. We understand that there's a deficit, but right now we need the assistance.
Ezekiel wants to get back to work and support herself, but for now, because of COVID, she's stuck. And that's the case for thousands of Canadians across the country. Mike's in the same boat. He hates that he can't support himself, that he needs government help to stay open.
The reason why I'm here and the reason why I'm passionate about the budget is to feed my family, to make sure that they're safe, they're sheltered, they're fed, keep them comfortable. I mean, this is the only reason why I'm here. And I don't know how long I can do that. And that's what the real scary part is.
After more than a year of COVID, the only thing we know is that the future is uncertain. And a budget all by itself can't put an end to that. Nick Purden, CBC News, Toronto.